Quad 106.5, 7 Mary 3 with Water's Edge just after 11 o'clock with Alex Cosper. And I forgot to tell you that tomorrow I won't be here because I'm flying to Austin, Texas for the South by Southwest Music Convention. What it is it's like 1,000 bands are going to be playing in Austin over a 3-day period. And, they have all these different little clubs, and you just walk from club to club and check out different bands. And these are like up-and-coming bands, unsigned bands, and even some Sacramento bands will be playing there. I know the Tattooed Love Dogs will be there. So I'm going to try to catch as much new music as possible over the weekend, but Ron Givens will be filling in for me tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. As we continue now with Love and Rockets, this is Sweet Lover Hangover on Quad 106.5. Quad 106.5, hi.
Hi.
Who's this?
This is Billy.
Billy who?
Billy from the Dead Betties.
Dead Betties, is that a group here in town?
Yeah, you've talked to me before.
Oh, yeah, it's coming back to me. Well, tell me something about your group. Do you play around or what?
Yeah, we play at the local clubs, Ironsides, Press Club, stuff
That's
like that.
Cool. And what kind of sound is it? Not that you can categorize music so easily.
We're an alternative folk rock band.
Okay.
Kind of alternative, kind of quad material kind of stuff.
Well, I'm going to have to check out the Dead Betties one of these times.
We want you to come down, AC.
I'd love. Do you have a CD?
We're right in the middle of remixing our tape right now.
All right, cool. Well, make sure I get a copy.
Are you going to be at the Muff?
I'm thinking about it, but I'm going to so many shows, it's making my head spin.
I know you're a lucky guy. You get to go to a lot of shows.
All right, well, you're definitely going to the Muffs.
Well, great.
So we will see you at Malarkey's March 27th, so congratulations.
Wonderful.
All right, hang on the line, and let's listen to Nora with Waterways on Quad 106.5. Quad 106.5, that's Cornflake Girl from Tori Amos, now president of her own record company called Igloo Records, and she says she wants unique bands, so maybe she'll start a revolution. Right now, here's The Cure with Let's Go to Bed on Quad 106.5. I'm Alex Cosper, and earlier we were talking about the whole big bogus virus scandal today, and with me on the line is Doug. How you doing, Doug?
I'm doing good.
What's your view on this?
Well, I kind of figured that it seemed like a marketing scheme brewed up by the virus companies on the internet that they're offering 30-day trial use of their antivirus scans.
Okay.
And I kind of thought maybe that's what's going on here.
That's a valid paranoid thought.
Yeah, it does sound a little paranoid, doesn't it?
But then everyone's paranoid.
Absolutely. With the internet, I think everybody's paranoid about encryption and all that BS. So, getting their MasterCard stolen.
Doug, you're in a band called Oleander?
Yeah.
All right, when are you guys playing next?
Next, I think we're... when are we playing next? We're playing the Boardwalk on the 29th.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the Press Club on the 6th or 7th, I'm not sure.
Great, well, good luck, man.
All right, man.
All right, here's Soundgarden with Pretty Noose on Quad 106.5. Quad 106.5, Dancing Barefoot from Patti Smith Group, and I just can't help but think that she's part of some subconscious art form that hasn't been fully explained yet. I mean, she went on to influence people like Bono and Michael Stipe, and you know how many people were influenced by those two alone. I mean, so that made it even more historic to see her last Sunday at the Bridge School benefit, and she pulled off a very hypnotic set. I'm Alex Cosper. The All Request Lunch Hour brought to you by Coors Light. Now's your chance to win tickets to our upcoming premiere of Romeo and Juliet. If you want to go, be caller 12 at 448-1065. Quad 106.5, 9 Inch Nails with Hurt. Before that, we heard the Monroes with What Do All the People Know, and Cake with The Distance. And one thing I want to say about Cake is that I don't really want to take credit for their success, but I would like to share in the celebration, being that Quad was the first station in America to play them. And now it is official. They have gone top 10 nationally with their single, The Distance. And that is on the Radio and Records Modern Rock chart. but that is a significant achievement for a band out of Sacramento. So congratulations to Cake. And coming up next, we will hear the latest from Mazzy Star.
Hello, this is Robert from The Cure. You're listening to KWOD 106.5.
All right, Robert, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today. I know you guys are on a tight schedule here. I just want to ask you a couple of questions real quick. How's the tour going so far?
So well. So far, yeah. No, it's been really good fun. It's every night's been different. We've been doing a lot of different kinds of venues, some outside, some in the northwest in sort of theatres, places that we've never been to before in all the times we've been to America, some of the bigger kind of arenas. So we're trying to change the sets around. We're sort of taking requests. We've played about 50 songs so far. Hopefully we would have played about 100 by the time we finish. So it's good. I mean, every night's different, which is what I wanted the tour to be like.
I know that for the last couple of CDs, 2 or 3 CDs, you basically had the same lineup in the band, and now you've got a couple of new members. How different is it being out on the road with new people in the band, or is it any different at all?
Well, it's different having Jason on drums, because it's the first time he's ever been to America, so he's instilled us all with like tremendous enthusiasm. You know, it's the first time he sees a yellow cab in New York. It's oh my god! So it's like everything's new for him, and it is infectious. It's really good to have someone like that around, because we might otherwise. I think on the last tour we did, everyone was a little bit kind of blasé about, you know, just wandering across America doing shows, and the set didn't change very much. So this time out, I've tried to get everyone to kind of appreciate what we're doing a bit more in the group and around the group. I mean, Roger did the Disintegration tour with us and the Kiss Me tour, so he's back. I mean, he's done it before. He's been doing it longer than I have, I think, which is hard to believe. But it is different. I mean, the dynamic of the group is different. It's more fun, actually. There's a lot less tension on this tour than I've ever experienced before in any Cure tour. There hasn't been a single argument, and we've been away for 6 weeks. It's pretty phenomenal.
All right, one more quick question for you. This is something everybody is always kind of curious about. What's in the future for The Cure? Will there be another Cure album? Is it going to be? Are we going to have to wait 4 years for another record, another tour? Is there going to be a solo thing going on? There's been talk about that. What can you tell us about that?
Well, next year's the 20th anniversary of us going on stage as The Cure, so there's bound to be. I mean, there's pressure to like do a lot of retrospective stuff, which we'll probably resist most of it. But there's like a fan pressure to gather together a lot of the old B-sides and the kind of rarities and put them together into one package that everyone can get hold of. And there hasn't been a singles album for 10 years, so we'll probably do one of those. So there'll be sort of Cure stuff out next year. Like I'm writing a book about, you know, the real story. And but I don't know about what the next album's going to be like. We've been discussing it on the bus, but I kind of think the retrospective stuff will happen first, and then the next album. So it probably won't be till next Christmas that we kind of get around to it. But no, it won't be 4 years. If we make another album, it will be out next year, because I need to. When you come off a tour like this, you have to use what's there, and by the end of this, we're going to be like. I mean, we're already playing like a really, really good band. We play much better now than we did this time last year, so it can only get better. And it would be pretty stupid to just stop and all just like drift apart again. So I'd like to go in. You know, if nothing comes of it, then nothing comes of it. But we'll probably go into the studio this year just to see what happens.
All right, Robert Smith, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today, and have a good show tonight.
Thank you very much.
KWOD 106.5 with Tori Amos, quite literally, sitting here just a few feet away tonight, playing inside the community centre. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Where have you been? You've been all over the place, haven't you? That's a bit of an ambiguous question, actually. We were talking just moments ago about playing in Berlin and playing in the East.
Playing in the East, and yeah, and how claustrophobic that was. It's really something how you can go to a place like Berlin, and even though the wall is down, in some ways you don't feel that rejoicing that it's down. However, it's almost like I wouldn't have known there was a wall up, and yet when I played in the East, I knew something was quite different than what was formerly the West and the East, because I had played the West before. And so in my travels, a lot of times I kind of whip my head around going, God, I wish I would have been there when the wall came down, because now you can't find remnants of the joy of that, and yet you know there are changes that are happening because of that.
Did you feel that what you were saying was getting across, because you have this great commonality with other humans within your lyrics. This great ability you have of writing this beautiful music that you listen to, and then you listen to the lyrics and you think, whoa, where did that come from? Because the music attaches to the lyrics, but they're so deep and they mean so much to you as a writer. But as a fellow person listening to it who's been through the same experience, did you find that was there, although you had that divide of East and West?
The Germans are interesting because they understand English probably more than most in Europe, more than a lot, let's say. And I really think that sometimes they don't express that they understand, but you can hear a pin drop at the German shows, for the most part. Except one time I played something that was like Monsters of Rock 6 years ago, and they still hadn't gotten the idea that the piano could, you know, put some serious high heels on. That hadn't quite translated yet, so that didn't really work. But now, as the years go on, I find that, for instance, being in the East, what was the East playing? People were kind of dealing with the fact that in this theater, like you and I had been talking about, communism was preached for 40 years. This theater had nothing in it that wasn't approved of by the East, so to play in this place, and for people to come there and hear the kind of music that I play, which is really about freedom, it was kind of different. And you could tell that they were really affected by it, and because they were affected by it, I was affected by it.
Yeah. Is it hard to get into the emotion, or if you relive something that has happened in the past, if it's really affected you in the way that perhaps it has, the way it comes across in the songs, is it difficult to go back when you're replaying those songs to get back into that mode of, okay, now this is what happened?
Scarily enough, it's so easy to get back. In some cases, that's the power of music, I think. It can take you to a place that nothing else can.
So how are things going? Are they living up to your expectations?
Every day, look, if you're in my shoes, you can't complain. You just can't complain. There's nothing to complain about. I'm making music I want. People are coming to hear it. I don't follow any quote-unquote, rules. In the quote-unquote music industry. I'm really lucky, and I make no pretense about that. However, there are things every day where I kind of cock my head and go, well, I never thought of this way before. I never saw a bass line like this way before. The good thing is I want to challenge myself, because there's so many things that I haven't done. There's so many things I haven't experienced or tried. And I think I'm beginning to appreciate hanging out more. The career thing, whatever happens, happens. But I really want to take chances. Not that I haven't, but I like the feeling of taking chances. It gives me a lot of self-respect when I do that.
Tori Amos, tonight inside the Community Center, playing out with Happy Phantom. Thanks.
Quad 106.5, Alice in Chains with their unplugged version of Wood, just after 10 o'clock with Alex Cosper stepping in. After a pretty fun weekend, I spent a lot of it in San Francisco, so I'll have some funny stories for you. Also, you might have read in the Sacramento Bee over the weekend that I'm leaving Quad. It's true. In about 3 weeks, I'm moving on to do some other things I've wanted to do for a long time, but I have to say that I love this place, and it's been awesome here. And, I talk with you every day, so I'd kind of like, if you could talk back to me, like send me a postcard or a fax or a letter or whatever, so that I could put it in my scrapbook and say, yep, I talked to somebody. So, in the next 3 weeks, please send me something if you feel like it. But it's another week, so let's get things rolling again. It's Wallflowers with 6th Avenue Heartache on Quad 106.5.